Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. And we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you all. Hope you all are well out there. Today is April 24th, 2024. It is 4:09 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all for joining me. We are covering a live press conference that is supposed to be going on. I don't know if it's 4 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. Central. I'm looking right now, trying to see what is up with it all. Um, all of the news, it says 4 p.m., but it doesn't say 4 p.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. Central. So, trying to figure that out. How's everyone doing? It's so good to see you all in chat. Hello, hello. Of course, love one another. So, Stephen Stearns, he was charged with the unaliving of Madeline Soto today. Coward did not show up. They're giving him more time. I'm looking at WFLA right now. I don't see it at the moment. It's just it's nothing right now. But as soon as that happens, we will go right to it. Let me check WFTV as well. Okay, any minute. Here we go. Here we go, kiddos. second, I won't.
Other meetings.
There is nothing more pointless than unproductive meetings.
What about watching grass grow?
Nope.
What about pushing the crosswalk button
1 second.
repeatedly?
Nope.
What about bringing sand to the beach?
Just celebrated her 13th birthday and was just a child. The evidence shows an individual
This is an
that was
older
entrusted
one.
to keep Madeline safe,
Well,
make
this is live.
calculated moves to
Let's
dispose
clear that up.
Madeline's belongings and place her body in a wooded area before she was ever reported missing. For the 4 days following her disappearance, the entire community was actively looking to find Madeline safe and alive. Tragically, on March 1st, Madeline's remains were found. Our detectives have worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to Madeline's disappearance and death. With the collaboration of the state's attorney's office, we prepared the case for the grand jury that was heard today. The grand jury determined that our department secured enough evidence to obtain a first-degree murder indictment. We appreciate each grand jury member for their careful consideration. We want to thank the diligent work of the state's attorney's office, the medical examiner's office, and our other law enforcement partners who assisted with this investigation. Your expertise and dedication were instrumental in uncovering the truth. The indictment signifies a crucial step forward in our quest for justice and a testament to our commitment to honoring Madeline's memory. We will now take questions.
She talks really fast.
Brett, I'm going to defer to the state's attorney.
Good afternoon. Although an indictment has been returned this afternoon, it is still an open and ongoing criminal investigation. So much of this information cannot be disclosed until Mr. Stern's attorney, if he does so, elects to participate in discovery, and then all of you in the media know how to go about seeking information through public records.
Not that we've uncovered. State attorney?
Again, all questions about the facts of the case are not subject to disclosure because of public records laws at this time. Once his attorney participates in discovery, then you can make public records requests through your normal channels as you do in other cases. At this time, the only person being charged is Stephan Stearns. And again, this is not over. There is an ongoing investigation to uncover more evidence, and therefore we can't comment.
Ooh, that's interesting.
There's going to be the same response on any question about the facts of the case.
That's interesting right there. Wow.
Through the facts of the case.
So with any death case that is reviewed by my office, when it's determined to be a homicide, we have to look at the statutory aggravating factors that are laid out in our Florida law. Once we've determined that we have sufficient evidence to prove those factors to the proper evidentiary standard, then we had to have to talk about whether this is a death penalty case. And that's a discussion that we're still going to be having for the next couple of weeks to
Should be a death
make
penalty.
sure that we're making a legal decision that's appropriate in this case. I'll leave that for Mr. Will.
Cannot comment on whether Mr. Stearns has been doing anything. He has counsel. And as far as plea offers, no, there are no plea offers made on the open case. You can address that question with the indictment that should be on the clerk's website if it's not already.
I'm going to have to defer to the state's attorney.
Again, any question about the facts of the case, it's going to be the same answer. Once his attorney participates in discovery, the public records laws change, and you all will be able to get a lot of that information. As far as the 60 counts that are already filed against Mr. Stearns, that is solely involving Mr. Stearns as a defendant. Not to those 60 charges.
Oh, sorry. family
Family
working with the
working with the
investigation.
investigation.
It's a family working with the investigation.
It's an ongoing investigation. Can't comment on who's working with us.
Okay. This will be the last question. I'll let you get that in. What was it?
It's the facts of the case. Can't comment on it.
So thank you all so much for coming out today. If you need this gentleman's name, it is Will.
In the wrap there, you saw in entirety what basically was said.
It's very
is
interesting.
What you heard, that the community was anxious for an update. They worked diligently on this. The death penalty is not decided.
I'm going to go back and see it
because
because we missed
They will not give details on.
we missed some of it earlier, so I'm going to.
Mr. Will. Legal.
Where's the back?
Decided, and Darlene, as is typical, they will not give details on the manner.
The cause of death in terms of how.
Child sex.
Bear with me.
Madeline and what is proven in court.
Bear with me, y'all. It's
A lot of details, and again, I think it was best said that 7.5 weeks we've all been waiting for justice.
come on.
It's at least some.
Get with the program.
All accounts, was killed at the hands of Stephan Stearns.
And a lot of people had wondered whether or not her mother would face any charges in this case. And we heard there nothing about her mother, but investigate.
That was very interesting, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to.
And I'll tell you
It won't let
the
me go
reason why
back.
they're still trying to piece all of this together, and they don't want to let Stephan Stearns and his.
You know what I'll do? I'll do this. Hold on. WJHL. Because I want to catch. Not WJHL. Goodness gracious. Because we missed. Oh, I spelled conference wrong. WFLA. That's what it is. Give me 2 seconds, y'all.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, maybe we didn't really miss anything. Hold on.
Gained significant public attention because Madeline had just celebrated her 13th birthday and was just a child. The evidence shows an individual that was entrusted to keep Madeline safe made calculated moves to dispose Madeline's belongings and place her body in a wooded area before she was ever reported missing. For the 4 days following her disappearance, the entire community was actively looking to find Madeline safe and alive. Tragically, on March 1st, Madeline's remains were found. Our detectives have worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to Madeline's disappearance and death. With the collaboration of the state's attorney's office, we prepared the case for the grand jury that was heard today. The grand jury determined that our department secured enough evidence to obtain a first-degree murder indictment. We appreciate each grand jury member for their careful consideration. We want to thank the diligent work of the state's attorney's office, the medical examiner's office, and our other law enforcement partners who assisted with this investigation. Your expertise and dedication were instrumental in uncovering the truth. The indictment signifies a crucial step forward in our quest for justice and a testament to our commitment to honoring Madeline's memory. We will now take questions. Right, I'm going to defer to the state's attorney.
So they basically said, you know, what I thought was the most interesting out of all of this, other than obviously knowing that Stephan Stearns has been being charged with unaliving Madeline Soto, is there any more charges going to be about? And there's been long speculation that Madeline Soto's mother, Jen Soto, could absolutely speculation is that she could be involved, and they didn't specifically say her name today, but they said that they are looking into to see if there's other people involved, and if they're continuing to investigate, which, you know, in my opinion, if they didn't think someone else was involved, they would have just said, no, this is all that it will be charged. There is nothing more to see here. Point blank, period. That is what I would have suspected them to say otherwise, but that is not what they said at all. So yes, the trial, I believe, starts sometime in August. I know it's well into the summer, and that they did not say that, which is very interesting. Ring selling and trading pics. I wonder if Santa case is connected. I don't think so. I really don't think so. But, you know, after we sat here and we watched Steven Stearns rather, behave the way that he behaved is just crazy. Let me see your WFTV. I think it is. Let me check this. I will this is a really tragic case. Here, let's watch this a moment. Refresh our memory.
Stephan Stearns, Stephan Stearns.
So Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
Now, think of this, y'all. Think of this. This mother chicken is pretending, acting like he is so just hurt and saddened and all of that. And everyone, what happened? Our alarms went up, didn't they? They certainly went up. For a reason. People, we have a natural instinct, most of us, I think, to know bullshit when we see it. Sometimes we don't, but again, he was not a suspect at this time when he did this interview, at least not in the public, but we knew better.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car?
His face makes me ill. It repulses me. That poor Madeline had this SOB SAing her, videotaping the things that poor girl went through because of his sick perversions. Taking pictures, all of that. Just disgusting.
Car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks. Love you too.
Okay. She was asleep most of the way. That caught a lot of us kind of, it's kind of weird. She was asleep most of the way. I wonder if he did that based upon cameras that could have seen. But notice how afterwards, how he says, she said, I love you, thank you too. If you know how to read people, you don't feel like that is real, if you know what I'm saying. You can tell it's bullshit. And when I say the same thing when it comes to Chris and Katie Proudfoot, when Katie says, don't know what you're doing in there, but go to sleep, the way she says it, you can tell it's made up, in my opinion. Again, she's not named a suspect. I'm going to make that clear. I'm just telling you my opinion. So listen to this again, and you'll know what I'm saying.
Good day at school when she got out. I love her.
Or when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks. Love you too.
Thanks. I love you too. It's bullshit. You can feel the bullshit. You can feel it. Perhaps, Cheryl. Perhaps. Something's not jiving. I 1000% believe if they were not at least interested in someone else, in my opinion, that would probably be Jen, but who knows? They would have said, otherwise they would have said, nope, this is the only person that we will be charging in this case. That is it. There is no other suspects or anything. They didn't say any suspects. They didn't name any names, but they did say that they are going to continue investigating and see what brings them.
That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. We're scared. We just want her home.
He doesn't even, he knows better. He knows better. He is just trying to pull the wool over our eyes so he don't end up in jail, which is where he is now. Now, where Jen is, I don't know. I've heard that she's been at her sister's, heard she's been at a hospital. I don't believe she is home. Such a bad actor. Yeah, it's hard. It's not a real emotion, right? Yesterday we were playing Nancy Grace, and I can't remember the case, but it was let me find it.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
Dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well. And
she's been holding it together really well, and not a fucking tear, because you just threw her body out. That poor little girl, the day after her birthday party.
But it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and Not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
Uh, they said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. Now look at this. You see this? You see this? You see Don and Candace Wells. Yeah, how convenient, right? Exactly. Now let me show you a real grieving mother. A real grieving mother. Sade Smith.
Beautiful soul. I knew that my kids were very special and different. My parents raised me, they raised us. We are light workers. We put out positive energy, we exert, we help others. I'm a community advocate as a personal way of
you and your whole family. And we will not rest until her killer gets the maximum sentence in that jurisdiction, which is life without parole.
Nancy, thank you.
God, please be
Thank
with
you.
Sade's family.
That's a mother. That is a grieving mother right there. That's the difference. That's the difference between bullshit and this. That is Sade's mother. It's really bad. Her daughter body part was found in a kid's playground. A kid's playground, man. Yeah. If you can just tell the difference.
What was the language? Not language verbally, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party.
Yep. I wonder if something happened. I wonder if something happened at that birthday party. I wonder if he got jealous. Did he get mad about something? This man had been taking pictures of his stepdaughter we read the affidavit. All of us did. So one of the most graphic affidavits I have ever read to this day. So disturbing. She had a crush on a boy. Yeah. Yep. Had a crush on a boy. And could mom have been jealous as well? Could you have been jealous as well? I could see him being jealous and rage too. I agree. I absolutely agree.
She was happy that we were all together here, and she's just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
Just not knowing. He carried her body around town, y'all. This child had a happy day before she went missing. Sound familiar? Yes, Lori. Yes, it does. Reality Win says, my gut tells me Jen will be arrested in the near future. Boy, I'm telling you something. I bet you Jen, I know she was watching. She was watching this press conference. And I bet you right now, her knees are buckling. And you know what? If she's involved, which we don't know, I want to be very clear on that. We have no idea. But if she is, they should be. My heart goes out to Brandy for Michael. Yes, that is a mother who someone actually took her son. It's a very rare thing for someone to take your child, take another person in general that is a non-familiar person. I bet she is, Annette. I bet she is. And like I said, we have no idea. There's a lot of people that find her suspicious. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. That is one I don't know. There are some things that is concerning, right? Very concerning. But if she is involved, you find her big suspicious. Yeah, her story doesn't make sense. Her story doesn't make sense. He won't make it long in prison. I don't think he will, ICU. I don't think he'll make it long in prison at all. And if he does, I hope he's someone's bitch. I really do. Oh, I can turn the music off now. Sorry, when I played the thing, I gotta play a little music or something. Please don't. Oh, Miss Fletcher, are you not a... Hold on, I need to make you a mod. 1 second. So we're gonna talk about the Proudfoots in just a moment. I need to make Miss Fletcher a mod. Wow, 1 second. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. I keep thinking True Detective when Russ did that interview where he gets the baby mama of Sid's when she should. Where she gets the baby's mama of Sid's what she should do before she goes to prison. I don't really know. I don't know what you're talking about there. KP guilty. She needs to know where Sebastion is. Yeah, we do need to know where Sebastion is. It's been long enough. It's been damn sure long enough. And we need to know where he is. And in my opinion, only my opinion, someone knows where he is. That kid did not walk out by himself at all. And I was wanting to find something here. Let me see if I can just pull this up. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Okay. He's gonna to be. I mean, yeah, he should be. I mean, I hope he's not in protected custody. He doesn't deserve protected custody. He does not deserve protected custody. Listen, you harm someone, especially a child or someone disabled mentally or physically, emotionally, whatever. You don't need protected. You need to be put with the wolves. That's who you need to be put with. Why protect someone that didn't protect a child? Why? They don't deserve protection. That costs extra money that the taxpayers are paying. Let them have them. Put them in with the meanest mother chicken there. I don't want to pay extra money to protect dumbass. Sorry, but that's how I feel. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. Um, well, considering it's Tennessee, we will probably be here 3 years from now looking for Sebastion like summer. Cotton Candy, listen, if they don't find him, if they don't find Sebastion, we will be. Yep. If they don't find him, we're going to be here in 3 years. This is Summer Wells, but SebastionRogers 2.0. Is. Unless, breaks can come at any time, though, right? Breaks can come at any time. I personally think that it's possible that someone can or could find Sebastion by accident, so to speak, accident. But I think the only way that the public is going to be able to help is either searching or they find him, just finding him, hunters are out or they're fishing, boating, whatever. But TBI, they don't share anything with the public. And it can be a blessing or a curse. Sometimes sharing too much is not good with the public, but sometimes, like let's talk about Summer Wells' case for a second. They haven't shared nothing in 3 years. Nothing. Nada, zero, zilch, nothing. Are they any closer? Doesn't seem like it. Ronnie Lawson said almost a year ago now that we would be getting an update soon. Still waiting on that update. They didn't do a presser last year, so you know what? Think they're going to do one this year? Not sure. Doubt it. Doubt it. Mandy says, I really hope Sebastion will be found alive and well and then brought back home safe and sound as soon as possible. Mandy, I pray that is the truth. I pray that is what results in this. But at this point, the only way, there's only 2 ways this can go down that he could be alive. One is that the parents, stepfather, family knows exactly where he is and they are hiding him out. And the second would be someone kidnapped him. And didn't Lawson just get reelected? Yes, sure did. 1 second, y'all. I don't think Lawson's going to retire. But that is the only way, in my opinion, that anything is going to become of this. Either case. Why don't they look in Mississippi? Wait, wasn't Lawson retiring? I don't think so. Lawson has had so much on his own plate with his son. All of that stuff going on. Can you really? Why wasn't he made to leave? Who Crumbs? Who wasn't made to leave? Sorry. Oh, Mandy, God bless you, honey. God bless your child. God bless your childhood friend as well. Why can't the governor kick him? Well, I mean, they would have to find reason, you know, 3.5 more years. So that would, yeah, we would be at 6.5 years. I have to say that Florida was on this case immediately. What a true example of law enforcement, except the overzealous community service officer with the Instagram post. I agree. Some states, I mean, they don't mess around, right? They don't mess around. And one is Florida. Texas don't play either. New York usually doesn't. It depends. It depends where you're at, I guess, in New York. But you know, they just exactly come to Texas. I think Sebastian's unfortunately not with us anymore, but I believe Chris and Katie put him somewhere in Mississippi. There is Virginia. Yeah, well, Chris has. They both have ties to Virginia. They both have ties to Virginia. Yes, guys, if y'all don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, I would be grateful. Very much appreciative. I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? I don't really know the laws and stuff where they are. I'm from Arizona. Arizona don't play either. They don't play at all. But I think okay, there is a reason why, and it's not work. It's not work. Yes, reality wins. They both have ties to Virginia. But there is a reason, and I can't put my finger on it which one it is. Katie comes back to the house for a couple days or whatever. Benny found out Texas ain't playing. Oh, Russ. Sumner County needs to get their heads out of their butts. Yeah. So why the hell are they in Mississippi? I know people, we've talked about the extradition, but it's not the extradition, guys, because listen, if they want them, they will get them. The FBI is involved, the Secret Service is involved, and all they would have to do is get a warrant. And, federal trumps any state, right? Sorry, I was reading some. And so, but I want to know, in my opinion, again, this is opinions, hypotheses, and theories time. Why they are there is one is that they are more comfortable being 3.5 hours away. Is that because Sebastian is in the Hendersonville vicinity? Or is it because Sebastian could be closer to Mississippi? And either way you look at it, it's very confusing. Because you could say, well, it would be smarter, more intelligent rather, of them as a criminal, speaking criminally, for them to move him to like somewhere like Mississippi, somewhere far away. People's not looking in those areas. right? Anna, that's what I hope too. I have a lot of faith in the marshals. The marshals, they shit, they can track down anything. That is what they specialize in. That is what they do. That is what they are good in. Right? I would love for that, but I just don't see that. How far is it from their house? It is 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. Memphis. So, we could talk about it is technically, if he would be in a different state, for instance, nobody is even, it's not even on the radar in Mississippi for them to look unless they have some sort of evidence or intelligence that leads them there. Yes, it's 3 hours, 37 minutes door to door, Chris says. But Chris also can make it at 3 hours and 7 minutes. 3 hours and 6 minutes, 3 hours and 7 minutes. Can't you, Chris? So there's that. But if, again, they're not looking in those areas, could they be wanting to be in those areas because, or are they there because they're more comfortable there being so far away from where he actually is? Or are they keeping an eye on something? What the thud? What the thud? A friend of mine found a flyer for Sebastian in the Walmart in Florida today. That's amazing. Crimes have consequences. That's amazing. I put on when I was in Tennessee the other day and handing out flyers, I was at a gas station and I was getting ready to fill up with gas and I was going to take a flyer in to ask him if I could put it up of Sebastion, and they had on the pumps, they've got some of the monitors on the pumps now, and they advertises just everything. I look and there is Sebastion on the pump from Missing and Exploited Children. Also a flyer at Vienna, West Virginia Walmart. That's awesome. Very good. When you hide something in plain sight, no one assumes to look. He is in plain sight but can't be seen. That is how they need to search. Interesting. Interesting. From that video, he has a sweet little he does have a sweet little personality. I'm glad we got to see a few videos of him. He just seemed very very sweet and fun and just full of energy. And it says Don and Candace can both get home really quick, both away from home, and yet they zoom right home. Yes. Oh, Angela, I'm sorry I didn't see that earlier. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate your 1 month. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my babe. He's such an adorable child. He is. Yeah, Britt, it's kind of crazy. Speaking of the Madeline Soto case, they didn't say Madeline's mother's name, but they said they were going to continue to investigate. Maybe staying away from house cause they know that's crazy, but just popped in my head. Yeah. I'm patient. I do not want another summer. I'm impatient. Yeah. Yeah. I love you too, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for 1 month. All right, guys. if anybody wants to call in about this case, you're welcome to call in. Thank you. They have, well, listen, I mean, Candace freaking Wells is saying that Katie is suspicious. Justin, look at the Idaho. What do you mean, look at the Idaho? Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much, my love. Maybe Katie had Sebastian with her when she searched that morning and met KB. Oh, gotcha. The mother-in-law, okay. Who has also exact vehicle and was seen at school at 5:45 a.m. Could have switched vehicles, and Katie hid Sebastian. Katie went home. Cops miss car swap. Perhaps. The thing is, Kimberly, like, that's probably, I mean, it's weird that they have, it's so weird that they have almost like the same car to begin with. But I would say, and they're probably now, like just now, getting back the data from the vehicles. That can take quite some time, a good 2 to 3 months generally. So I would think that they would be checking, based upon, the car's computer and all of that, where in the navigation, where they were at whatever time. The thing is, I mean, Chris's family, they own a lot of land, a lot of homes, a lot of businesses. They own a lot of construction, stuff. And they probably have several work vans, vehicles as well. Thank you, Bella. So that makes you think, right? Kind of makes you think. Could Chris or Katie or one of them used like a work van? I think it took 3 hours to kind of brainstorm for them to do whatever they were going to do, right? Trigger says, I'm curious what kind of recreational vehicle, such as ATVs, etc., that the Proudfoots own or have access to. You could transport a body without any vehicle data being recorded. Very interesting, Tree Hugger. I never thought of it that way. They have like side by sides and all of that. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, we know he has motorcycles, right? They don't own a boat. Yeah. Wherever Sebastian is, if they have anything to do with it, I believe he is hid well. 1 second. Thank you for calling, dear.
Hi, Justin.
Hello, dear. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I just posted a question, or a comment.
Okay.
The Proudfoot seemed like they had a lot of recreational vehicles, like toys, and I'm sure their extended family probably had them as well. And I'm wondering, like, there's a lot of off-road vehicles that do not record any vehicle data. Obviously, recreational type of
Right.
vehicles wouldn't have that kind of, and that they could have very easily, because I really have believed from the beginning that this has been a planned thing. I don't think it was spontaneous and something went wrong, or I think there would have been a lot more evidence and more mistakes made. But if they did plan it, that would have been a good choice of a vehicle to use.
That really would be good. That would be a excellent, thing to use, because there is nothing that is going to record that. And say, for instance, those off-road side by sides and stuff, tractors, something like that. Those things can go up anywhere, right?
Yep. Yeah, they climb terrain. They go over all kinds of stuff. And a lot of them have, 2 or 3 seats, 4 seats in them. A lot of larger ones that are out there. It just seems like his family's kind of into that sort of thing anyway. Anyways, just threw that out there for people to think about.
Yeah, that's a good. Now, can you ask me, or can you ask me? Shit. Can you tell me why you think it's more premeditated, in your opinion?
Because I really think that it comes back to the custody case with Nina. After watching the video, and then just all of the videos of him, he just seems like a win at any cost type of guy. And after hearing the lengths that his family went to traumatize and control everything with Nina, if she's telling the truth, and I honestly don't feel like she's lying.
I agree.
She genuinely seemed like somebody that was traumatized, and there was such a power dynamic that was not in her favor in that whole situation. And they just seem like very people that plot and are very intentional in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that there was enough abuse of Sebastian that it was going to come out when he went to live with Seth. And I think he really thought that it might affect his custody case with Nina. And I don't think he wanted, even with him, I don't even think it's so much that he even loved the kid. I just think he was not going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chris does
and his
not.
His
he
mom
doesn't like to
posted a
lose.
lot of pictures. What's that?
Yeah, Chris does not like to lose. Nobody likes to
No.
lose, right? But there are some people that can't.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even really have, most of us would go, it's not a loss. They're both biological parents. There would have been some custody agreement, and he would have had some custody. That's what normal people do. You may not like the former partner, but you do what you got to do. But he doesn't seem like he would have that kind of reason. To him, I feel like he would think he was really losing. And his mom had a lot of pictures of Faith before she shut down her.
Well, she had, she really wants Faith. I think it's more grandma that really wants, wants
I agree with
her
that.
as in having her. I think it's Chris that doesn't want to lose.
Yep, and you get a combination of those two things, and that's why they were supporting him, right? Because she's invested in it. She wants that kid. It's her granddaughter, but she doesn't want to give up anything. And the fact that Nina was out of state, that posed a problem for them. They're not going to move, and they can't force her to move back there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
I don't know. That's just how I felt about it. No kid just goes missing. There's no evidence. There seems like there would have been some mistakes made if some sloppy thing that would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see an intruder going into the house that didn't already know the house. There wasn't a window broken. There was no evidence of anybody breaking in.
So tomorrow I'm going to be having a live with a case that is there's a lot of similarities between the case I'm going to be talking about tomorrow and Sebastion. And it's a mother. She was in the military, her daughter was very malnourished and all of that. But she said she kind of lived, she had two different places. And she said that she heard something in her house, and she gets, I don't know if it's a GUN or some type of, a stick or something. I can't remember what it was. And she goes around the house and she's looking everywhere, right? Trying to find out where this sound is. And the cops in the interrogation room, they're like, well, did you go in your daughter's room? And she's like, no. Why wouldn't, like, if you think someone is in your house, the first place you're going to check is your kids to make sure they're okay.
That's absolutely the first place you're going.
Right. And it's just
That's
like,
what you're trying to protect.
yes, more than yourself.
Yeah.
And, the cops were like, well, that's weird. Why wouldn't you check on your daughter? And, they weren't blaming her at this point. They weren't blaming her, but they said that they suspected, after that was said, that they kind of suspected that, okay, something's up here. And they ended up finding her, I think 5 miles away in some woods, buried. She's in jail for life now.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's just so many horrible cases like that. And parents do things you would never in a million years think they would do, but they do.
Yeah.
And and another reason, getting back to the Sebastion thing, I can't get past Katie knowing that she had a special needs kid, young adult, and to allow Chris to humiliate him. If what Seth was saying about the pull-ups, and we know enough out of Chris's own mouth to make I know enough just to make me feel like it just sickens me what he did to that boy.
Yep.
He humiliated him. You don't whip a kid with a belt. The thing about he was so happy to tell everybody how how to parent and teach them a lesson. You go into their room and tell them to pick up their toys, and they don't do it, or their things, and go in there with a bag and pick it up and throw it away. When people are autistic, they have very, very strong connections to things, their possessions.
Yes.
And
and their routine, their what is where things
absolutely.
are. Yeah.
Yep.
And his room was messy. And I think Seth
So how effective was that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think Seth thought that was very odd for that room to be messy. And, like I said earlier, and people's like, well, it's probably messy from them searching. I'm like, well, you're not going to look for Sebastion in dresser drawers, right? You're not going to look for him on the top of the dresser, right? You're not. So I don't necessarily buy that they were searching for him and it got messy because of that. You're not going to throw clothes out, or I don't know how messy it was but Seth said.
Yeah, that seems unusual to me, because I don't think Chris is such a control freak. I although he hadn't been home, I can't see them allowing Sebastion to keep his room like that.
Me either. But he could have freaked out. Katie could have freaked out. Chris could have freaked out by over the phone. He could have freaked out over video call. He could have been there. It's just, you just don't know at this point. That's the frustrating thing.
Depending on what they did to him, maybe they panicked and were like, well, we got to put some things out of place in this room, which it probably didn't go with that room probably stood out and is not being consistent with the rest of the house. Like, their house didn't seem messy to me at all.
Yeah, yeah. And
I mean, the few pictures that we saw.
well, the kid did not. Sebastian left his phone on the kitchen counter, but he took.
I didn't know that deal. I didn't know where it was found.
Yeah,
That's unusual. They didn't have it in his room unless they didn't allow him to.
They may have not allowed him, but if it's on the kitchen counter or the dining room counter, somewhere in I think it's the kitchen. But he took a flashlight, but he didn't take shoes. A kid is they would rather go without food or shoes than they would not having their phone. See, it's not like he didn't know that phones could track. I'm sure he didn't realize that. He didn't think that. I agree with that.
I agree. I don't think his thinking was, that far where he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to take my phone because they can follow me."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, the whole thing's a tragedy, and I hope that law enforcement is really doing their job. I think, unfortunately, because of their ties to the community and their connections within law enforcement, I think and I'm not suggesting law enforcement covered anything up or there's a conspiracy, but I don't think that they looked at them hard enough in the beginning. I think some things were probably overlooked until it was too late. And
yes, I think that, 99% of the time, whenever a child goes missing, it's an innocent thing, right? They walk off. It's a kid that walks off. They are thinking, oh, well, he has a condition, so he's got autism, so he probably did just walk off. But I think that gets in the way in these cases because they're not investigating the first day or two, until when they're trying to fit all of this together. But I think from the time you get there, get out of the house, everyone get out of the house. We need to, it needs to be treated as a crime scene. You can, there's more than one way to, skin a turkey or whatever the saying goes, right?
Right.
You can
Absolutely.
you can do two different investigations at the same time, and whichever way it points at, you can keep going with it, but treat it as a runaway, but also treat it as a crime until otherwise.
Yep. I also think it's interesting that Kathy, Chris's mom, was there while law enforcement was there, almost like, hey, wanting to make sure what she said. Chris was probably like, make sure you're there, Mom. I want to know everything she reports to the police. And I don't know, maybe my mind's just running away with the whole thing, but there's just too many weird things in the case. She doesn't seem very interested now, so why was she there that morning?
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? They've been out on vacating, the entire, Alaska, and now they're like somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I don't think they had a relationship with Sebastion at all. I don't think
No.
that it was just Katie's son. I don't think it was their
it's
grandson.
Katie's son, and I think she probably likes Sebastian, but I think that they are the type, you're not really family unless you're blood. They're those people.
Yep. Yeah, or you're perfect and, something to be proud of in their mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm sure that they were aware of all this stuff going on with the custody case, obviously. And they knew that, all the stuff that had happened to Sebastian in his past and all those comments about him, being a pervert. And I mean, these are not normal things people say about a victim of what he was a victim of. And, you know, you don't shame a victim. That he was obviously a kid that was processing what had happened to him and needed, you know, intervention.
Right.
So I don't know, but to talk about him in those terms is just shocking to me.
Yeah, they want to point out his you know, none of us are perfect, and we all have flaws, and we all have things that, you know, we could probably better ourselves on. But he's only 15, right? And he has autism, and it's like they didn't give him any grace at all. You know,
No, it's
you
just
I even say, you know, I tell people all the time, kids have bad days too. And as parents, we don't remember ourselves being that kid. We just seem to remember either, you know, the really good times as a child or the really bad times. But, you know, when we were children too, some days we just didn't have a good day. Some days we just didn't feel good. Some days we just did. And just the same as it is now. You know, some days I don't really want to talk to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Or I just don't feel good for whatever reason. And kids are like that too. And they're just little human
absolutely.
beings. So,
Yep. Well, thanks for letting me share what I wanted to share, and thanks for keeping the focus on the case. Out of all, and I just want to say too, out of all the YouTubers, you really, I see you pause a lot and form your thoughts before you just start putting things out there, and
yeah.
I really respect that about you, because there's a lot of YouTubers that don't do that.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Sometimes sometimes my mind is blank when I'm pausing, but sometimes I'm trying to find the word as well.
No, I think you're very intentional in what you say, and I think that matters, because you eventually lose respect for people when they're just on there, you know, talking to talk. So.
Oh, I mean, some of these people, they're, you know, they're foaming out of both sides of their mouth from all the hate. You know what I mean? It's just like, God. So.
I do. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for calling.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was a good call. Very good call. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Vincent. Yeah, that's lots of craziness. Lots and lots of craziness here. That wasn't what I was going to show you.
Kim, to accept.
Thank you for calling, caller.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Hey, can you mute the background?
Yeah, I'm trying to hit the mute. There we go. I have a couple of things that I'm interested in.
Sure.
One is Katie has all this telecommunications education, right?
Yes, allegedly. Yep, from what I understand.
I'm wondering if she couldn't have scrambled the neighbor's camera.
Is it possible? I guess it could be possible, but I don't think it's probable, though. You know what I mean? I don't think it's probable. I think that, you know, there's no street lights, just like always late in chat just said a moment ago. You know, there's no street lights down there. And if you're in a car and you don't have your headlights on, you know, it's not going to pick up nothing, those cameras.
Right. Another thing is, I used to live in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
I just moved here. I just moved to Indiana in 2018.
Right.
And I'm on the app all the time researching things in that area. In Memphis, there are a couple of autistic residential programs that possibly they could have put him in. They wouldn't need that's okay. And they could have put him in a residential program for autism.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out that Katie's aunt, because we found this out in another chat, she is a behavioral therapist. She lives in Virginia.
Correct.
I mean, that would be a plus for all of us.
Mm-hmm. It would be, but again, that would be amazing, honestly, if if it was just something like that. But you would think it would be very easily traced. And not only that, there are flyers, there is people from every town in Tennessee and across the United States, across the world, that
I understand that Kate Gosman hid her son from
who did?
Everybody. Kate Goslan, she hid her son for almost 2 years.
Yes, yeah. She did. But it was, I mean, there were people that knew where he was, but she wouldn't let John know in the courts. Right. So, and he just, he didn't, she didn't call 911 and say, oh, he was going to school and, I heard him at 10 o'clock. There was a thud. I went to bed, didn't look on him, check on him. And then 6 o'clock rolls around and he's not in bed,
Right.
And
I'm just throwing out ideas.
Oh, no. I mean, we got to talk about everything. Absolutely. I completely understand that. I mean, we need to talk about, listen, I mean, none of us want to think about the worst case scenario. Right. But, at 2 months, we're probably there.
And one of my grandsons was actually admitted to a children's mental health facility in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And somebody said, I was watching comments and somebody did say that they actually do, because they have to wait until children are released.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to get everything ready before they can add another child.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that
is
true.
But I'm sure there was evidence of him being in a car, being, with on a stoplight, a Ring doorbell, a surveillance system, something.
You would think that he would be found somewhere.
Yes.
The idea of switching vehicles is a good one.
Yeah.
Because it's awful funny that Grandma Proudfoot Reefer Socks was there that evening. Yet if you check any of her Facebook pages, she doesn't have Sebastion on any of them.
You mean Chris's mom?
Uh-huh.
Oh, she don't care, in my opinion. I mean, she's, she don't care, in my
But she was there that morning.
She was there that morning. Yes, she was. Yeah. She was there before.
Seth was there.
Yep.
Because he said she was there when he got there.
Right. Sorry. Now, to be fair, she does live closer than Seth lives and where Seth works. So I just want to be fair on that. But again, how did she, I mean, who called mother-in-law to let her
Right.
know Sebastion was missing? That's the question.
Right.
Right.
Instead of Seth being called at work because it was an emergency.
Right. Well, I think they called his cell phone or text his cell phone, and it was said, "Don't be mad, Sebastian's missing. Don't be mad. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
mad." That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very weird.
Mm-hmm. Very weird. Well, thank you so much for calling. I'm going to take these other calls.
Okay, honey. Well, God bless you. I'm glad you are keeping Sebastian's name out there.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you for calling in. God bless you.
Bless you.
All right,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Call from Daily Tan Mod.
Hello, dear.
Hi there. How are you doing, my favorite friend?
Good. How are you, hon?
I'm doing much better, thank you.
Good.
I just wanted to thank you for all you do,
Aw.
and I think you're wonderful. And I won't keep you. I just want to appreciate everything you do for all these children you try to find and everything. And just make a quick call and thank you for, your chat is just so wonderful, and the mods and everybody. I just think we have a wonderful group here.
We have
And
the
that's
best.
why you do. And you know what? I appreciate you. And I think everybody in here also does,
Thank
know?
you. Thank you.
And I won't keep you. I just wanted to say that real quick. And I love everybody in here. And I just wanted to say thank you for all you do. You're a wonderful person.
Thank you, Miss Daly. Love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for the kind
Uh,
words.
Yes, and I won't keep you. I'll let everybody else talk to you, but I don't get to talk to you guys much. I can't. Your chat runs so fast, and I
Yeah.
try to keep up. So I
Yeah.
just want to make that little quote to you. You're
Yeah.
just such a sweetheart.
I just
So
did one channel today. I didn't do two because I didn't. It gets really busy when I do two. So
I know, but you do a lot of hard work. And Justin, I just want you to keep it up. And I know there's a lot of people that says bad things and stuff. Throw them out the door.
oh, don't
Slam
even.
it.
Yeah. Don't even. It's not even. Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Yes. And you do great work and you work hard. And
Thank
that's
you.
why I give so much.
Thank you,
And God
sweetheart.
bless you.
God
And I'm
bless you.
always here for you in the chat.
Likewise.
And you have a wonderful night.
You
And
too,
yes,
my love.
and we'll talk to you later.
All
Oh,
right.
I'm always there for you.
Likewise,
Okay.
my dear.
Say
Love
hi
you.
to everybody. All
Will
right.
do.
Love you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. All right. That's very sweet. Daly's a sweetheart. She's one of our mods. Let's see here. Oops. Hello, hello.
Hi, Justin. It's Rach. How are you?
Good. How are you, love?
Good.
Good.
It's good to hear your voice.
Good to hear you.
Thank you for asking.
Of course.
So I wanted to bring you and see what your opinion is, and it's sort of floating around as to why you think the Secret Service was called in. I did text you a link, and looking at the cases and when they partnered in, it looks like 1994,
Mm-hmm.
the Secret Service with the National Missing and Exploited Children
Correct.
Network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, in a particular case, they had worked with several agencies. It was at the request of the agency of this particular case. It was a mom and a 1-month-old baby that were missing in Virginia, and they had called in. It looked like mainly for forensics on cell phone data, various types of data. That also found, it eventually led to the boyfriend that did it. Things like CP on his phone. They were trying to identify the victims, but it was mainly, it seemed like, electronic and digital forensics. But it was at the request of the agency. In my mind, I'm wondering why and when, because I don't know when they did, they called in the Secret Service. That's one thing that just keeps playing over and over and over in my mind. And I'm like, okay, is it because they might be, veterans or former members of the military? I don't know.
Oh,
I
I'm
just wanted
sure.
to get your opinion.
I mean, most people in the Secret Service are former military of some sort, right? So I mean, the Secret Service, they do assist with National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. But that's a good question. That's a good question. I think I mean, I personally think it has to do with something electronically, digitally, something of that nature. But it's a secret, right? So
Yeah, I guess that's why they're the Secret Service,
yeah,
right?
right. That's the thing. But I'll play a video here, and we can yeah, I'll definitely oops, sorry, I just dropped some. Talk about that. I don't, I mean, like the FBI and the Secret Service, they're two different entities, but they do work together on a lot of different things. The FBI has certain capabilities that they're better at than the Secret Service, but it sounds like, I think it's something, and they called him in very quickly, right?
Right.
They called him in very quickly. And I think, I mean, me just speculating, I think it's something that didn't sit right with probably investigators, and they wanted to pull data as quick as possible, if you get what I'm saying.
I agree. I think I've been looking at different angles because I think these cases, we know anything's possible. We can make the best assumptions
Yes.
based on what we're given as far as people having interviews, so on and so forth, or what limited information we have as the public. But we will never know what law enforcement knows.
Correct.
And that's just to protect the trial. I first moved from California to Tennessee during the Holly Bobo case. That took years, and there was like 6 people arrested in that case. The female roommate that lived in the basement witnessed Holly Bobo in that home and the atrocities that were
I'm very
perpetrated
familiar
against
with
her.
that case. That was a case,
And
my God.
And now I kind of live halfway in between, actually, where the Proudfoots live to Memphis. And those monsters are still walking around. So I think in today's society, you can assume things, but anything's possible with the society that we live in. And then also, just looking at the proxy, they were both military. Looking at Katie, did she have anything to do with it? Allegedly, we don't know. But looking at her training in the military, they're all trained in the Navy to be firefighters because that's one of the biggest issues among ships,
Uh-huh.
Any type of vessel that they have, they're all trained to be that, no matter what.
Well,
So, did she have the capability? Yes.
let me tell you something. So I have a friend. Her and her husband were in the military for a lot of years. Now they are very successful people in what they do now. And I was talking to them about this case, and she was saying that everyone in the military, and everyone keeps these, it's the bags that when you're like deployed or
Yes.
whatever, shit, what kind of bag are they? Asked you. Do you remember what they were? It's a
I know
military.
what they are. They're like duffel bags. My dad had
Yes.
one. My dad's
Yes, they're
Navy. And that was
great.
one of his big things.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are leak proof, right? You can, they're
Mhm.
called water sea bags. Sea bags. Thank you, Lab Mama. Sea
There
bags.
you go. Yeah, they're big.
Yes.
They're big and green. I remember that.
Yes. And they're airtight. And you could easily fit someone in there.
Yes, that's an interesting point. Very interesting. When looking at their training, anybody that's been through boot camp or had, I have many generations of military. It's absolutely possible that they could help themselves in that type of situation, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't think it's beyond her capabilities. Did she? We don't know.
Yes. Yes. And I mean,
Well,
remember, crap, I forget her crazy self. She put her husband in the luggage,
oh
right?
my gosh.
And he was alive when she put her husband in the luggage. Someone will know in chat. Sarah, I think it's Sarah something. But those you cannot. There would be nothing for. There would be no scent. Sarah Boone. That's it. Yeah, Sarah Boone. Thank you. There would be nothing with those sea bags. And everyone that has been in the military you can buy them online as well, but everyone keeps their sea bags.
Wow. Yeah, and I've had the thought, the facility that the aunt opened up for autistic children with, modifications or behavior issues. I've wondered if that was a discussion in the home and Sebastian thought something that maybe that he might be sent there, if it was so or not. I've just gone over everything in my head. My heart hurts for him because I've had, or have autistic children in my family.
Right.
And unless you really are sensitive and talk to them, they're very intelligent. Their brain might not operate in the order that we think it should, but they're very intelligent, especially if he had ADD or ADHD. There's an Edison gene where it's geared towards survival. Of all places, I found out about that at Vanderbilt in Nashville.
Yep.
So I hope he's found. I just keep praying. Like I said, that was my birthday, and I gave Sebastian my birthday wish because it's heartbreaking.
It really is.
So I hope he's found, and that's a very interesting. I did not think about the sea bag, but I think that's important why we have these discussions.
Well, just so you just mentioned this again. I can't say his name on here. I forgot. Laden. I'll just say Laden. You'll know who I'm talking about, right? Laden.
Yes.
911, right?
Right.
He was buried out to sea, right? He was washed. They put a white sheet over him to do the Muslim tradition of burial. They put him in a sea bag type, one of those. I guess it was a bigger one, but he was placed in a bag with weights.
Wow.
So there's
I
that.
just don't know. I have my gut feeling and my spidey senses, but just logically, you don't know. And I pray that he is found. I pray that maybe he has that Edison gene with ADD or ADHD, and it's kicked in, and he's out there surviving somewhere.
That would be. It would be. I believe in miracles. And it would be a miracle. It would.
Well, thank you. I don't want to keep you from the other calls, but
Oh, you're
I
fine.
appreciate talking to
Of
you
course.
because I didn't even think of those angles or the bag or anything, but I've been racking my brain, I think, as many people have. It's sad.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Anyway,
calling.
prayers for Sebastian.
Thank you. I'm going to play a video on the Secret Service here as well.
All right. Thank you,
All right.
Justin. And by the way, I just love it when you call us honey. That's the most sweet, endearing thing that you could ever call us in chat.
That's sweet. That's sweet. I'm Southern. I can't help it.
All right. Have a good evening. I
too.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to not take calls for 1 second while I play this. So I apologize. So just give me 1 second. This is from the Secret Service here on YouTube. Link will be provided in the description.
Black suit, sunglasses, earpiece, but a lot of people don't realize that we also protect our children.
I feel like the public really thinks about the Secret Service and they think about the protection detail. The Secret Service does so much more in communities to keep children safe. They work with our organization not only to bring technical resources in the search for missing children, but they also go into communities bringing our safety.
Technical. Did you hear that? Technical resources. Okay. Technical.
And prevention messages to the children themselves and really forming strong bonds within a community.
The Secret Service ambassadors to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are specifically trained to provide presentations to children related to online and personal safety.
It's very personal for me doing this type of work. Naturally, every parent wants their children to be safe. So just having 2 daughters growing up, I use this ambassador opportunity as just a chance to apply what I know at home.
It's so rewarding and fulfilling to walk in and see their eagerness and their excitement and just be able to help them and support them in any way that I can.
I am able to talk to community members and parents, and they are seeking answers to questions that they do not know how to answer. So it's fulfilling to explain to them what we do and the programs that we offer.
We're not there to scare children. We're not there to scare parents. We're not there to scare teachers. It's just saying hey, these are the threats. This is how to better educate. These are the resources out there to protect. So
there's different levels of, Secret Service as well. And many times people in the Secret Service are not what you expect them to be, right? You think of really tall men in a suit, right? But it's not just that. It's usually
we kind of bridge all those gaps and bring everything together.
I love being an ambassador. It is incredibly gratifying to be able to go to talk to these kids. They're always so enthusiastic, and that part I really enjoy. It's a job that I hate that I have to do it, but I love that I get to do it. And that's the part that I think gives me a lot of joy.
As a parent, you want to keep your kids safe. And so I always keep that in the back of my mind. When I'm up there, I want them to see how much I care, and I want them to get something out of a presentation that they can take with them.
The Secret Service has amazing resources, really remarkable technology that they're able to bring to local and state law enforcement agencies who need help in searching for missing children.
Like we have a no-fail mission for protection, no-fail mission for our partnership with NCMEC as well.
whether it be handwriting analysis, whether it be photo or imagery enhancement. They're able to bring their skills and their unique resources to communities that otherwise wouldn't have them. It's been really critical in helping us identify children as well as bring missing kids home.
Our agency is blessed to have those resources. No matter what's going on in the world, we'll stop whatever we're doing to provide those resources to help and ensure that a child is saved, found, or brought home safely.
So there we have it. There we have it. So they do a lot of technical stuff. So there's that. All right. Let me put the banner back up. If anybody wants to call in, you can call in to keep up with who's saying what, but I did hear he was using the internet. Oh, they're going to go through, and I'm sure they went through absolutely every single thing possible. Why is it not working? Thank you for calling. Okay, why is it dialing? Call back in, caller. I don't know what happened. Call back in, please. Justin, do you think Katie could erase their phone data and car data and all the camera data and alarm data? Chris said they had alarms and cameras. I think she has a better chance than the average person, if that's... Why is it doing that? Hello?
Hey, Justin.
Hey, dear. How are you?
I'm good. This is Barbara from Texas.
Barbara.
Listen, I think there's one thing we can all agree on. Sebastian did not walk out of that house. He did not run away. I think that's something we can all agree on 100%.
I mean,
We used to...
I think so, but I mean, there are people that says, nope, you can't count that out.
I don't believe that, because
I don't
he would have,
either.
if he ran away, he would have been spotted by somebody somewhere. And here's the thing: years ago, we lived in Tennessee. They live in a brand new subdivision.
Yep.
Houses are being built. There used to be old homesteads on these places. There's old wells, old abandoned wells. I mean, and if you live there long enough, you're going to know where these places are. You're going to know where to put a body. I pray every day Sebastian's found alive, but I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not see it. But you're not going to convince me that boy walked out of that house. No way.
Yeah,
No
I
way.
mean,
Not on his own. Nope.
there would be some type of scent leading, to different areas. There would be some type of footage, some type of footprint, shoe print, cameras. I mean, I just don't believe that they live in a $600,000 home. She installs cameras and security systems for a living. And she's saying that they don't have them, but in the beginning, they had them, right?
In our house, we've got a big house. We've got cameras outside. We've got cameras inside. We've got 4 different types of cameras in our house for backups.
Yes.
And around our house, and we live in a safe place. And I'm sorry, when his own father can't say, I can't say that that's Sebastian taking out the trash right there. He said, I can't say that to him. His own father would know him. He would know him.
Of course. Yep.
And so, yeah, no. I do not believe that he walked out of there. I'll never believe that he walked out of there. I pray every day for stuff in his family. And I pray answers come soon.
Me too. Me too.
I mean, I just, I'm heartbroken over this. Sebastian belongs to the world now. I mean, we've all fallen in love with this little boy,
yes.
and we all want answers. But I don't believe he walked out of that house.
Nope. Nope. He wasn't an outdoor person. Someone that's an
Exactly.
outdoor person is not going to sit out in the woods for 2 months. They're not going to go out in the woods in the dark. I think he would be afraid to begin with.
Well, he had his phone. He had to walk right by it to get out the door. He would have grabbed his phone on the way out the door.
Yep.
You'll never convince me of any other way. I mean, nobody will. I just wish something would give. Something would give. As far as the 2-foot people,
Uh-huh.
I have no faith in them. None. I would lose my mind if something happened to my granddaughter. I would absolutely lose my mind. I would be out everywhere screaming from the rooftops.
Yes.
So yeah, no. So, but that's my opinion. But you'll never convince me that he walked out. And I pray every day that he's found.
Me too. Me too, my dear.
Well, I appreciate you letting me call in. I don't know what happened the first time, but I appreciate it.
It was weird. I don't know what happened, but something happened. It started ringing back. I don't know. So.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'll let the next caller call in. But thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. 1 second, y'all. I need to... Yeah. In true crime, there has to be layers of Thank you for calling.
Hey, Justin.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. This is Tammy.
Hey, Tammy.
Hi there. Here's one thing that bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
I watched to my knowledge, all the interviews that Chris and Katie have done.
Right.
And I don't know if anybody else caught this. I know they caught the change in story, but it's like the first interview that I heard her do, she didn't mention a thing about hearing any kind of noise. She just said she sent Sebastian to bed, and he went to bed, and that was it. Well, then, people started, wondering, well, why didn't you check on him? Why didn't she check on him before she went to bed? So then her next interview, she comes out with that she heard a noise.
Mm-hmm.
She said a noise. She didn't mention anything about a thud. And she said that, it was more like a scolding. Like she thought, he was just up when he needed to be sleeping, and she told him basically to knock it off and go to sleep. Okay, then people, who were listening, like me, started questioning, well, he's a special needs child. When you heard a noise, why didn't you go check on him?
Of course. That's the normal thing to do.
Well, right. Okay. Then she turns it into, she heard a thud.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes it sound all at once like she was a concerned parent and says, hey, Bubba, did you fall out of bed?
Mm-hmm. No, ma'am.
And, right. And, because he responded, and that, in other words, it's like, okay, let's keep making the story sound better and better each time.
Yep.
To suit people's questioning her. And I've noticed that there seems to be a pattern of her doing that. Now, I don't know if somebody else is coaching her on what to say, but as the truth never changes.
Oh, it doesn't.
I mean, no. And I mean, frankly, when she said she didn't go check on him when she sent him to bed, I didn't really think that much about it, because he is 15 and it was midnight when she went to bed. And if she hadn't heard anything or anything, I mean, and she was on the couch supposedly, fairly close to his room, I didn't really think that much about it. But then the more she talked about, then she turned it into she heard a noise.
Yep.
Well, it just started sounding worse and worse to me. I mean, I think if I would have been her, I would have stuck with the first story, no matter what people said. I mean,
yeah,
and I mean, like, well, sorry, I haven't had a need to check in on him. I felt like he was asleep because I was quiet or whatever. I mean, and I don't know, it's just really bugged me that she keeps changing that. Not a lot of people are saying that much about that. Because I clearly remember she didn't say a word about hearing a noise in the first interview.
Yeah.
And nor did she mention anything about her.
Well, then on
reading the book.
Smiley's, she said, I just heard him, fiddling around in there or something to that effect. I just heard him, moving around in there or something to that effect. And then she goes to Nancy Grace and she hears a thud.
Right. And another thing that I was late and I were kind of chatting a bit amongst ourselves and chat a minute ago about this. Do you remember there was talk that they visited a neighbor that evening after they got back from Texas Roadhouse or sometime during that time? And then there was, it was rumored too, that she was having an affair with a guy that lived in the neighborhood. Well, if I'd have been some of these YouTubers or whatever, I would have ran with that. Because I wonder, either Chris wants her right with him now, or maybe she wants to be right with Chris now. I can't decide which way it is. But, I mean, she's definitely not at home.
They want to be together, don't
And, yeah, and now's not really the time that I would pick to leave town if I had a missing child. I mean, I understand, my husband might need to go back to work or whatever, but
I'd say go to work.
Not only did
he was at work all the time anyways, right?
Right. But see, before, if there was some infidelity going on or whatever, Sebastian was with her. And I remember Seth saying that on the weekends that he had Sebastian, that Katie would drive down and stay with Chris. So it was almost like somebody had somebody under their thumb, or what it feels like to me, because, I mean, then there was talk that they were having problems in their marriage. Well, if you're having problems in your marriage, you're probably not going to want to talk to someone 3 hours on the phone, and you're probably not going to want to be together that much. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, it's just those little things that you just think about, that
doesn't make sense.
I've experienced in my own life, about relationships and things like that. And if I called my husband won't even talk to me 2 minutes on the phone.
Right. Yeah, what do you want?
It's like...
yeah, what do you want?
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah, and hurry, and I'm like,
right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But, he just doesn't like to talk on the phone. And even when we were dating, it was very brief phone calls. It was like, it was more like he wanted to have in-person time.
Yeah.
Then.
I can't
Now we
see
pass each
Chris
other.
just being there like, I mean, what would they talk about for 3 hours every night? Like, what are you talking about for 3 hours every night?
We'll see, and I think, of course, they're not going to tell us anything. I think that, you know, and I've heard other people say this, that what would really make a difference is if we knew if that was common for them, which is kind of weird, but, you know, some people might enjoy talking that much on the phone. Or if that was just a random phone call that really stood out, you know? Because that would be really weird if they were on the phone 3 hours and that wasn't common for them to talk that long. And then it didn't even make sense. I mean, when she was falling asleep and she says, you know, he says, well, go to bed and put the dogs up like she wasn't a child. I mean, I can understand if he, I mean, I don't know. My husband would just lay me on the couch and hang up.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
You know, why? I mean, why lay 3 hours on the couch? But aren't you doing homework? You know what I mean? It's like you're talking, like, let's just think logically here, right? If I'm reading a book or I'm studying, doing homework, am I going to want to have a conversation with my husband or your significant other, your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever am I going to want to have a conversation while I'm reading?
No, and think about this. If that was something that, if those phone calls were something that were common between them, like say a nightly thing or whatever, okay, I would guess, you know, that Sebastian had a bedtime, and either she'd call Chris after she got him down, or Chris would call her. Why would you start studying when you knew you were about to receive a phone call or make a phone call?
Right. Yep.
If this was, I mean, because if they did this all the time, I mean, this could be a nightly call. I could understand a nightly call to just check in and maybe say goodnight or whatever like that, you know. But even then, I wouldn't start. I wouldn't start if I knew that it was about time for me to either make a call or take a call. I don't know who called who. I haven't heard that part. If I did, I missed it. But you wouldn't be reading a chapter or studying. You'd wait until after that phone call was over, but not 3 hours.
Well,
I mean,
you would say, hey, I need to finish this chapter. I need to finish reading this chapter. Let me call you back when I'm done with it. I gotta get Sebastian ready for bed. I gotta, you know, get him in the bathtub, you know, pull out his clothes for tomorrow. You know, I gotta finish this chapter. Let me call you back after I get all this stuff done.
Right, and I mean, like a lot of people said, it's like there's information that those of us who've have kids and have raised kids or whatever, that kind of didn't fit. Like, if she wanted to be detailed, you know, there is the shower, there's the teeth brushing, there's the preparation for bed, and somewhat sometimes for school the next day.
Right.
She didn't say a thing about that. She just said that he had been playing in his room, and then she told him to go to bed, and he did.
Yep.
And, I mean, especially after a weekend and all these activities they were supposed to have done, I mean, a 15-year-old boy definitely would need a shower.
Yes. Sunday nights after the weekend, it's the hardest time to get them in bed because they've been up a couple nights. You know, they stay up longer on the weekends. Kids do, period. She said she let him stay up longer than usual anyways. Why would you let him stay up longer than usual on a Sunday night? don't understand that to begin with. But
I don't.
but if 9 o'clock is not letting someone stay up longer. I mean,
No,
what
I
time did you
wouldn't.
put him to bed?
Not
8
that
o'clock?
age.
A 15-year-old? I don't think so.
No, I did good to get my 15-year-old son and stepson when he was that age in bed by. We started around 10, and usually they would be asleep by maybe 11.
Yep.
I mean, that they had to have time to wind down or whatever, So I don't
School
know.
nights,
It's
it's
just
10
a
o'clock for
little,
my kids. 10 o'clock,
yeah,
maximum 10:30. Maximum.
right. And that's about right. I mean, or I would think that's what most parents. The bedtime is as they get just a little bit older,
Right. Yeah,
I mean, maybe
my
when they're
kids are,
younger, they might go to bed
yeah,
a little earlier, but
yeah.
nah,
My kids are
not when they
older
get older.
now, but I mean,
And
when they were little, it was 9 o'clock. That's when it was
I mean, it
9
was just so
o'clock.
much that didn't make
9:30.
sense. And another thing that she said, and a few people have caught this. I didn't hear anybody talking about it for a while, and and I thought, well, maybe I didn't hear that right. But she also says when they are actually talking about um, the morning that she wakes up and he's not there, not in the house. She also says, he was in a good mood that morning, laughing and joking around. What morning? I mean, they were talking about the morning that she got up and he was gone.
I
They
noticed
always
that
discuss.
too, but I think she meant Sunday morning.
Yes, but she had already very much covered what a wonderful weekend they had had throughout that entire day into the evening and
Yeah.
into the night.
Yeah.
And that just sort of bugged me because why go back to the morning before? That just didn't make sense.
Well,
I mean,
Katie
think
don't
about
make
it.
a lot of sense. She don't make a lot of sense.
No, she doesn't. And I think anything that, I don't know if it's Chris talking for her or if they're both just alike or whatever, but anything that they say that there's a little criticism involved, they're right on there trying to backpedal and fix it. Just like her statements about there wasn't a sound, and then there was a sound, then there was a thud, trying to make it sound better and better. And when all that I'm hearing is made up lies. But that's just my take. And then I do wonder about this neighbor that they were supposed to have visited that never got mentioned again, or she was supposed to be having an affair with some guy in the neighborhood, and he isn't mentioned again. I think they said he was married, and
Well, let me ask
there's
you
a lot of
something.
gossip.
If you had, God forbid, you had a missing kid, and you're not going to be worried about the criticism. You're just worried about finding your kid.
No, I could care less.
I'd say clutch your pearls. You know what? Clutch them, because I don't care. I don't care. Find my kid.
I would probably make Don Wells look bad, because I wouldn't be defensive. I'd just totally bulldoze right through it all and not even worry about those rumors and everything. I wouldn't care what people were saying about
Wouldn't give
me.
a rat's patootie about it.
Exactly. And I don't understand it. And I mean, when I communicate, if I was going to go to YouTube with it and communicate, if people start saying things like that, I would be like, look, I'm gone. All I want you to do is help me find my kid.
Right. Just keep putting his face out there. Keep putting his face out there. Have your opinion.
Exactly.
Do whatever you want, but just keep putting his face out there. That's all I need you to do. Put his face out.
And I wouldn't be in Facebook groups defending myself. Let them talk. Let them go. Facebook is like that anyway. I mean, just let them talk. So I don't understand that part, and the wanting so badly to protect their reputation or whatever it is, or keep themselves in a good light. Because I wouldn't care I wouldn't care what people thought about me. That would be the last thing on my mind.
Same.
I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't know, And I mean, I would think anybody would be like that.
Well, and not only that, bingo, honey, that's a great example. Dylan Round's mother. I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. I want my son. Exactly.
Right. I mean, and I would be like, if the police needed to do anything, I would be like, jumping up and down, do whatever you need to do to clear me right now, so you can get on and go look what's really going on.
Yeah, hold on. I need to answer something here. 1 second. Stacy says, I need a lot of prayer. My husband had a heart attack yesterday, back in the hospital, and he was the home provider. Very stressful, heartbreaking. I don't know what to do for us. Oh, Stacy, honey, we are praying. Please keep us posted. Please keep us posted.
Oh my goodness.
They can do a lot for the heart now, Stacy. A lot. I don't know where you're at, Stacy, but Cleveland Clinic is really good in the heart. They're amazing. They can do so much for the heart now. It's incredible. So just keeping you in our prayers. So
sad situation. Well, I will let you go.
All right, hon.
Other callers call in, and so that I can turn you back up. We're out of sync here. I can tell that you're talking, but I don't know if we're ahead on the phone or if we're behind on the phone, but it's driving me nuts.
We're ahead on the phone.
And it's not going.
We're ahead on the phone.
We're ahead on the phone.
Yeah,
okay, so you're behind us there. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty then. Well, that's my 2 cents worth for today.
Well, thank you so much.
So, okay. Thank you, Justin. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1 second, y'all. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, Stacy, we will be keeping you in our prayers. I'm going to turn off the lines right there. Guys, I will be back at 9 p.m. I'll be back at 9 p.m. on, I don't know if it'll be on this channel or it'll be on Hey Sweetie. I'll probably just be chatting on Hey Sweetie. If you just like to talk about everything and nothing in particular, make sure you head over to Hey Sweetie, HEYSWEETTEA. Mods, if you will please drop a link there, I would greatly appreciate it. Sorry, where the phone lines are off right now. I apologize. We talk just everything over there. We talk true crime. We talk about life. We talk about makeup. We talk about skincare. Everything. We talk about gardening. We talk about relationships. We talk about if we're in a good mood, in a bad mood, we're bloated, we're constipated, we're cranky. I mean, everything. We talk about everything over there. So, make sure if you're into that to come over. It's a fun time. All right, guys. You loved the makeup tips earlier. Good. Thank you. Good. All right. Well, don't take life too seriously, guys. Seriously, enjoy your life. It's really short. Don't argue with people. Don't fight with people. They can either love you or not. Well, Thelma, you're going to have to come subscribe, and I'll be live at 9 o'clock, and I'll tell you. Come on over, Thelma. Come on over, Thelma. Come on over, Thelma. Right? I just felt like Christina Aguilera right there. I'm living. Justin has the best tips ever. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. Yeah. And I'm getting ready, guys. Saturday, I am going to the market and we're going to buy a shitload of plants. I'm driving 2 hours away, over 2 hours away. Thank you, Rach. Thank you, my loves. Good to see you, sweetheart. Hope you're doing good. Thank you. Really appreciate your support. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. But I'm driving over 2.5 hours and I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite flower markets. And then got my holes dug. Yeah, but I can always dig more. Hey, Angela, tip, no more singing. Hey, I'm going to sing opera now for you. Just kidding. But we'll be doing planting pretty soon. I'm going to try to see if I can get my Wi-Fi to get to my greenhouse. Yes, cactus and succulents. Lots of cactus and succulents, lots of tropical stuff. Everything. All kinds of plant stuff coming. Justin, how loaded will your car get with plants? I'll look like the Beverly Hillbillies, but with plants. Yep. That's right. I'll look like the Beverly Hillbillies, but with plants. You have Monstera? Yay, I love Monsteras. Sitting here browsing plants myself. 2.5 hours in a hot car, flowers. Honey, we got air conditioning. And listen, plants love the heat. They love the heat. I go every single year. A day at the nursery's therapy. Yes. I got some bromeliads. Sure do. Sure do. I really should have a plant channel. I really should. It is what it is. You know what my monkey have I told you about my monkey tail cactuses? I'm going to show you guys in a few days. Y'all are going to shit when you see my monkey tail cactuses. Like how they're probably 5 feet long or more, the tails are, maybe longer, some of them. And I'm getting ready to cut them. Daily, you're coming to Tennessee? That's awesome. The end of May, the 1st of June, and July, and some of August, I will be traveling a lot. Any cases, I might do perhaps even some cold cases. I'm probably going to be, I've been getting in contact with some people, with some family members with cold cases, and I'll probably be going to meeting them and doing like a little documentary kind of on the missing cases that I'll be talking about. So lots to come. Lots to come. Do you start your monkey tail from seed? God, no. No. Cactus from seed is, nobody does cactus from seed, hardly ever. It takes months and months and months for like just dropped my phone, for like a monkey tail to be like this big from a seed. Like seriously. What's a monkey tail? I'll show it to you. I'm getting off topic, but here we go. This is from my other channel. I'm always sending ICU like so they're very fuzzy type of, let me show you here. So this is a monkey tail cactus. This is a monkey tail cactus. And let's see if we get bigger. There you go. Do I have PayPal? I don't have PayPal. I only have Cash App and Venmo. I need to set up one for like people donating and stuff, but I don't have it right now. And these are very, very rare type. But they're very rare cactus. That, you know, a lot of people say they have monkey tails, but they have something very similar to a monkey tail. But the thing about monkey tails is these are very soft. They have hairs on them, and they're very soft, very soft. They do bloom like this. It takes them a while to bloom. This plant right here is probably 2 or 3 years old, I would say, for it to get like this. I have some plants that are 5 years old, maybe, and they're at 5-6 feet now. They're really, really, yeah, but they're very soft. They're a cactus, but they're very, very soft. So we'll be talking about it. Yeah, so if you're interested in any of those, I may have some cuttings coming very soon. What you do is I cut the tails, the monkey tails, and then you just put them in dirt, and then they will start growing, and then they'll spit out a bunch of babies, and then before long you'll have a big thing. So just let me know. I owe someone seeds, by the way. If the person is watching that I owe them seeds, I freaking forgot. I just remembered that. Of the Love Lies Bleeding. Hold on. I'll show you what that is real quick, and then I gotta go. But I'll be live later. Let me find a good picture of it. But they get the Love Lies Bleeding. Once you have them, they grow like crazy. Where the frick is it? Okay, here we go. My cactus die. I have a black thumb. No, Anna. You're probably not watering them enough. Most cactuses can take a lot more water than you can. The person who purchased seeds off of me a long time ago, I'm sorry, please let me know. Email me so I can send you the seeds. So I have a bunch of roses too. So this is called Love Lies Bleeding. They come up every year, and that the red, those are all seeds. They're yep, they sure do. So, Love Lies Bleeding. Cubines. You would love Baker Creek. They have every type an exotic fruit, vegetable. That's amazing. I have some dragon fruit too. So I need to rope over here. All right, guys. Love you all. I'll be live in a little bit. Make sure you're subscribed to Hey Sweet Tea. See y'all later. Good night and God bless. See you in a bit.